The town administration is looking to update Needham's regulations on alcohol sales to match how the select board currently handles applications and penalties. But some of these proposed changes have met resistance from the public health experts. Municipal producer Yushao Yuan has the report.
At the October 14th Select Board hearing on proposed changes to alcohol regulations, several members of the Board of Health and Public Health staff spoke out against a couple of the updates. One of the changes would let restaurants and bars serve alcohol until midnight instead of 11 p.m. Board of Health Chair Ed Cosgrove pointed to statewide data, cautioning longer hours could lead to more alcohol-related crimes and car accidents.
Fatal crashes involving drivers under the influence of alcohol are more common in Massachusetts than nationwide. 66,000 adults in the state self-reported driving after drinking at least once in the past 30 days.
Karen Shannon, Needham's Substance Use Prevention Program Coordinator, cited the 2023 Metro West Adolescent Health Survey, which shows alcohol use among Needham high school students is about 9% higher than in other Metro West communities.
These policies in the alcohol regulations, for example, send a message to our youth inevitably about how we as adults perceive alcohol in our community.
Another proposal would allow the first penalty for failing a compliance check to be delayed for a year. Board of Health member Stephen Epstein questioned the current handling of penalties and raised concerns about making them even more lenient.
We've had multiple times where multiple vendors have failed. And we've had, I think, 5 vendors that have failed twice, and really only once, most recently with the James, has really significant action been taken. And even then, it was mitigated quite a bit by allowing them to have their penalty in the middle of the week when alcohol sales are going to be quite low. What you're doing isn't working. So the idea of passing something that would actually mitigate penalties at this time seems really to be the wrong message and the wrong solution for a problem that's actually getting worse.
The Select Board was expected to vote on the new regulations at its October 30th meeting, but delayed the decision to gather more information. According to a town administration memo outlining the proposed changes, 15 of Needham's 22 on-premises license holders are already allowed to serve alcohol until midnight. That is because the current regulations give the Select Board discretion to extend hours on a case-by-case basis.
The reason to change and why it was recommended was that the majority of your licensees already hold licenses that go to midnight, and so updating the policy would align it. But in practice, whether you keep it or change it, you have discretion on the closing hour.
Town manager Katie King emphasized the updated regulations would not automatically extend hours for existing licensees.
There's no change to any existing licensees. Their current license would stay at the hours. That would also be true if you did not make this change and you kept it at 11 p.m. Current licensees, even those that go to midnight, would retain what you approved when they got their liquor license.
King also explained why compliance checks have a separate penalty structure from other violations.
Compliance checks are viewed by the ABCC as educational in nature, and so they are split out in your regulations to reflect that and to reflect Council's guidance to the board over the years that because they're educational in nature, they're kind of viewed with a different set of penalties. And so the first violation being held in abeyance is just recommended for the compliance checks failure, not violations of the regulations itself.
She added the Select Board still has the authority to increase or reduce penalties depending on the circumstances.
Adding the language about having it may be held in abeyance for 1 calendar year, again, is to get at your current practice. So you can always hold any of these violations in abeyance, whether that language is there or not. And this is just to clarify that that is an option available to you.
Overall, board members expressed support for moving forward with the proposed changes.
It makes sense to have our policy and our practice aligned. And I while I appreciate and participated in making our regulations stricter, I do think it behooves us to have some flexibility. We are here to have our licensees behave according to the law, not to put them out of business or, hamper them significantly if we want them to succeed and to change their behavior. The goal is to change their behavior.
Member Marion Cooley requested more information on how other towns handle situations where not using an ID scanner triggers 2 penalties, one for a violation and another for failing a compliance check. She also asked for data on whether different closing times encourage people to go bar hopping across town.
How do the operators with later close times think about that responsibility in the last hour?
For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.